Now we'll discuss the next tool of analysis, common size statements. So altogether we have 4: comparative, common size, then other 2 we learned already, accounting ratios and cash flow statement. So this is the last portion of this chapter, common size statements. Now by this time you would be knowing the meaning of comparative statements, isn't it? See, comparative statement, this is how we did. So comparative statement means it is a comparative study of, what are we studying? Of items or components of financial statement. Which are the financial statements we compared? We analyzed balance sheet and we analyzed P&L. So comparative study of items or components of financial statements, and they are balance sheet and P&L account, and how we are comparing. For 2 or more years we are comparing. Understood? So this is the meaning you can write for comparative statement. Beginning of the chapter you have the meaning. In the previous chapter also, the first page, you can see the meaning of comparative, common size and all. So comparing the items of balance sheet and P&L for 2 or more years. And this comparative statement is known as horizontal analysis because the figures are placed side by side and we are comparing these two, writing the absolute change, converting it into percentage. So this is a horizontal analysis. Understood? And we can apply this, we can use this comparative statements for inter-firm and intra-firm comparison. Inter-firm comparison means between the firms, firms of similar nature. If you want, you can compare the figures of your firm with another firm who is doing the same type of business. So you can do inter-firm and intra-firm. Intra-firm means within the firm itself, within your firm itself you can do comparison. How? You can compare your current year figures with your own previous year's figures, or 1 year results you can compare with that of the other years. So within the firm, that is intra-firm, and inter-firm, between the firm also you can do this comparative statement. Next, what we are going to discuss is this common size statements. So you give the heading common size statements. Again, for common size statement we have common size P&L and common size balance sheet. So now we will work out illustration number 14, page number 3.21. Okay. And for common size statements there is a slight difference in the format. First you give the heading common size statement of profit and loss. So profit and loss you must draw it in the actual format for the years ended 31st March 2019 and 20. Particulars column, not number, just like previous comparative statement. Next, for comparative statement, the next 2 columns we just copied same from the question. Here also we are doing the same, but give one heading on the top, that is absolute amounts. It's not absolute change, it's not comparative statement. You have to write it as absolute amounts. We are just writing the figures given in the question itself. That is, again, previous year you must write first, then current year. Only thing is, on the top of that you write absolute amounts. Then the same figures given in the question we are writing. Then previous year and current year, the same order means like in the previous statement, comparative statement. In the question it will be given 2020 first, but you have to write always previous year first. Just give on the top absolute amounts. Absolute change we have only for the comparative statements. Here we don't have absolute change because we are not comparing actually. Then next column what we can write is the percentage column, and for P&L, for common size P&L, the base will be always revenue from operations or the net sales. Okay, this is the column which you have to add actually, because till this you have in the question. Previous year, current year, change is there in the order, but figures will take it from the question itself. So absolute amounts, you just have to give that heading. Then there is no absolute change column here, we have only percentage column. Okay, so only one column you need to add for common size statements. This is percentage of revenue from operations, meaning is base what we are going to take is the revenue from operations, the first figure given, or the net sales. Okay, if it is the balance sheet we are doing, the balance sheet total we will be taking. Okay, that we will discuss later. So now we will start this question. Particulars column, everything we will copy from the question itself. First, it is revenue from operations and other incomes also there. So you write like this: revenue from operations, not number will be blank. Then previous year you have to take first, that is 7,50,000, and the other year is 10 lakhs. Yes. Then there is no absolute change, only percentage change column we have. Again that percentage change column, not percentage change, you have to divide into 2, because for 2 years we are converting. So 31st March 2019 and 31st March 2020, you have to divide like this. The percentage column again divide into 2, and each years will be converting into percentage, and the base will be the revenue from operations. So 2019 it will be 7,50,000 divided by the basis revenue from operations, that means it is the same. So percentage will be 100%. Okay. Then similarly we have to do for 2020. 2020 the calculation will be 10 lakhs divided by, that base will be revenue from operations of 2020. That means 10 lakhs itself into 100. So again 100% we will get. So this is how we have to do common size statements. Okay. Both common size P&L and balance sheet will be doing in the same way. So only one column you have to add with your question, that is the percentage column. Percentage of revenue from operations, divide it into 2, because each years we are converting into percentage. Then the next one is other income. So here we have other income to be added, which is given directly in the question, 75 and 1 lakh. That order you have to remember, previous year and current year. Then current year minus previous year, you don't have to do here, because this is not comparative. If it was comparative, then next would be absolute change. Here you just have to convert into percentage. So 75,000 by, the base will be always revenue from operations. So 75 by 7,50,000 into 100. So it is 10%. Then here it will be 1 lakh divided by 10 lakhs into 100. So it is 10%. Now we will write the total revenue. Yes, total revenue we have to write, which is not given directly in the question, but you should have such a section. So draw a line before you write the total revenue, and you can double line the total revenues. Sorry, total revenues you just put a single line. Only for the profit, only for the final figure you need to double line. This total revenue you just give a single line. Total revenues and total expenses. So here we will write the third category, that is total of revenue. Just add 2019 figure, just add this, you will be getting 8,25,000 and the other 11 lakhs. And now you have to convert these two into percentage. So conversion like before, 8,25,000 by basis revenue from operation into 100. So the percentage would be 110%. See, 110 means it's wrong. When you get more than 100, it's not wrong. Here the denominator is lesser value. Then 11 lakhs by 10 lakhs into 100. Everywhere the base will be revenue from operations when you do P and L common size. That is also 110. Next is expenses section. The fourth section we can write expenses. You have to write a heading like this, though it is not given in the question. Then we will write the expenses given there. Purchases, change in inventory and other expenses. Purchases of stock in trade, then change in inventories, that is opening minus closing, then other expenses. Values are directly given, no? Yes. So now you just copy previous years first, then current years. Purchases of stock in trade is 6 lakhs and 7 lakh 50. Then here it is. Change in inventory is 10,000 and minus 50,000. Write figures carefully. Then 7,500 and 10,000 other expenses. Now we have to convert into percentage. So this would be 6 lakhs divided by 7 lakh 50,000 into 100. So the percentage is 80. Here the calculation would be 7 lakh 50 by 7 lakh 50,000. Is it the same value? 7 lakh 50 by 7 lakh. Sorry, it's not 7 lakh 50. The 2020, the base is 10 lakhs. Okay. Now I made a mistake there. There are chances for you also to make mistakes like this, because that 2020 figure, when you take the base figure, what you have to take is 2020 itself. 2020 revenue from operations is 10 lakhs. So just correct it, 7 lakh 50 by 10 lakhs into 100. So it is 75%. Likewise, you have to do the entire question. Here it will be 10,000 by 7 lakh 50 into 100. Here it is minus 50 by 10 lakhs into 100. So the percentages are 1.33 and minus 5. Other expenses, what was the figure here? 7,500. %1 each. So now we got the expenses. We have to write the total of expenses. That is 6th or 5th one. Total expenses, you can write it as 5. It's not mentioned there as 5. You can write it as 5th section. That's no problem. Total expenses, you just add 2019 and 20 figure. Just draw lines once you add these totals. So now total expenses will be 6,17,500 and 7,10,000. Convert these two into percentage. That is the columns. 6,17,500. Now the percentage will be 6,17,500 divided by 7,50,000 into 100. Similarly, here it will be 7,10,000 by 10 lakhs into 100. Write the percentages. Then now we have to compute the profit before tax, that is sixth section, profit before tax. How will you get the sixth section? Total revenue minus total expense. So total revenue is 8,25,000 minus total expense is 6,17,500. So you will get the profit as 2,07,500. Then for the next year it is 3,90,000. That is 11 lakhs minus 7,10,000. So 3,90,000. Then you convert these two into percentage. 2,07,500 by 7,50,000 into 100. Similarly, you do this also. 3,90,000 by 10 lakhs into 100. So compute this. From this we have to seventh one, less tax. Here the percentages are 82.3 and 70. Sorry, profit is 27.6739. Up to 2 decimal points you have to compute, but if you don't get time and all, just compute or just stop with 1 decimal point. At least you write this calculation, okay. Then less tax. Tax figure do we have? Okay, the figures are not directly given, it's written 50%, so you have to compute 50% on this profit, because tax will be computed on profit always. So 50% you do on this 2,07,500. So it is 1,03,750 and 1,95,000. Then this also you have to convert it into percentage. Finally, we will get the profit after tax. You have to deduct this. These two amounts we have to less. So balance will be the same because we computed half now. So now we got profit after tax. This also you have to convert into percentages as usual. Everywhere the base will be revenue from operations. You can double line this. Final answer, the percentages are 13.83, 19.5 and here it is 13.84 and 19.5. While you convert it into percentage, everywhere you have to do in the same way. That is that year's figure divided by the base will be that year's revenue from operations into 100. Don't add all these and write these figures. Okay, percentage you have to do just like we did for other figures. I mean, you have to follow that formula. That year's figure divided by revenue from operations into 100. Then common size balance sheet also we have same like this, nothing new, but calculations are there again. This conversion will take time, the percentage conversion. So illustration 19 you have to do. Yes, illustration 19 same like this. I'll just show the format. Format means same like this, there is no change. Common size balance sheet, asset, what are the dates given? 31st March 2019 and 2020. They have given the name of the firm also. At least you write this. Particulars, not number, then absolute amount columns we have to divide for 2019 and 2020. This would be there in the question itself. Then what we are adding is the percentage column. Here when you write the percentage column, you have to take the base as the balance sheet total. Percentage of balance sheet total. Previous statement we wrote revenue from operations as the base. Here we have to do balance sheet total. So balance sheet total can be either asset side total or liability side total because both are same. So you have to copy the entire question. Okay, 2019 and 2020 in that order you have to copy. Then each years you have to convert into percentage. Just see share capital 2019 it is 2,74,000. So how will you do? 2,74,000 by the base will be the balance sheet total. Here the total is 14,20,000 into 100. For 2020 it will be 2,74,000 by 8,60,000 into 100. Okay, likewise you have to convert each and every figure into percentage. Then there also note numbers are given. Did you see against long term borrowings note number 1? So long term borrowings don't write 6,96,000 and 4,38,000 directly. What you have to do is refer the note to accounts that bank loan and percentage debentures you have to include in non-current liability section. The classification you have to show. Don't write the figures directly. That 6,96,000 and all don't write directly. Okay, then current liabilities section we have subheads, 4 subheads under current liabilities. In your textbook the solution they haven't written that 4 subheads, but when you write you must write all those 4 subheads, convert each figure into percentage. Everywhere the balance sheet total will be taken as the base. But for 2 years the balance sheet totals are different, so base will change for 2 years, that you have to do carefully. So rest everything is similar to the P&L statement. Here it is much more easier than P&L because entire balance sheet format is given. There total revenue, total expenses, all those figures they didn't give, we had to compute. But here everything is directly given in the balance sheet, in the question itself. So you just have to copy and convert into percentage. So now what is the meaning of common size statements? Common size statements means there we are converting each year's figure into percentage by taking a common base. And for P&L the common base will be revenue from operations. For balance sheet the common base will be either total of assets or total of liabilities. And this is also known as common size statements, also known as vertical analysis. Each years we are converting into percentage by taking that year's total, the balance sheet total or the revenue from operations. So the base common base is being taken and we are converting it into percentage. So it is vertical analysis, whereas comparative statements we have to say like it is horizontal analysis. This one is vertical. Okay, so that's the meaning of common size statements. With that chapter is over. So you have to do this question. I am not repeating it because you understood know how to do. Same like P&L, nothing more for you to learn. So this is the format and you write the figures. Please don't copy, do calculations yourself. So with this chapter is over.